Alright you guys, how's it going? So we're finally going to do another video on the truck here. I know some of you guys have been pretty anxious and saying, what the hell, give me my truck videos. So I actually have something to do today, and I finally have all my tools and everything else that I need, or that I want, to make it easier. Today, let's see if I can find it. There it is. So I remember I already did a video on this, but I'm going to try this guy out for my differential. So it's a lube blocker. That way you don't have to mess with RTV and stuff like that anymore. So I figured I'd try this thing out. I ordered this before I left for basic because I left at the drop of a hat without even really realizing I was leaving it, so I didn't have time to actually put this in. So this thing's just been sitting here for like 8 months. So yeah, because my differential cover is leaking just a little bit. I mean, it's not dripping, but I can see that it's developing a leak, so I want to catch it before it starts going bad. And plus just to replace my differential fluid, because why not? So we're going to hop underneath the truck here, zip these bolts out, and then pop the cover off, let it drain, and then replace the gasket and everything else, and pump her back full of fluid. So I'm actually going to use a different method instead of those shitty freaking hand pumps, those little orange ones that you can get at Harbor Freight. I'm actually going to be using an air compressor. So I got this a couple weeks ago at Harbor Freight, including that reel there. So as you can see, 125 psi, it's 21 gallons. I love this thing. I used it yesterday when I washed my truck just to blow everything off my wheels and my light bars and everything. It came in really good handy. So basically the way I'm going to do it is my bottles of diff fluid here. This time I went with Valvoline because that's the only thing they had right now. So I think it's Valvoline. Yep, so 80 weight 90, stuff the truck calls for. For some reason the manual measures how much you need in pints, but it's like just under 3 quarts is what the thing holds. And so anyway, I've got a piece of clear vinyl tube in there, and so basically I'm going to put that on top of this little nipple here, and then drill a hole on the side of the bottle, and then use an air nozzle and then force it up through the hose and then up in there, and it makes it a lot easier and a lot faster, so, and a lot less messy. So we will try that, and then let's hop underneath the truck and zip these bolts out. Okay, so we're underneath the truck now. I've got my drain pan here. These are all 13 millimeter bolts, so I'm going to zip them out here with my 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to zip out these bottom ones first. Yummy. Okay. And then, just like in the last video, I'm going to leave this top one just kind of loose. That way when I pop it, it doesn't just fall on me and make a mess everywhere. Damn it. Alright, I think I'm actually going to take those ones up by hand, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. This tire's in the way. Oh, it came out. There we go, never mind. Okay, let me go get my ratchet really quick. Alright, that's the last bolt. Pop her out. There it goes. Sounded yummy. So now I'm about to go eat some lunch, and in the meantime I'm just going to let this thing sit here and do its thing. Let's put that about there. I'm happy with. So and then when we come back, I will go ahead and clean all this old RTV up and put the new gasket in and get everything installed. But the diff is still looking pretty good. So I'm gonna go enjoy some burgers. Ow. So yeah, let me move this out of the way so you guys can get a better view of that diff. There you go. So yeah, I'm going back to the Stone Age right now. That's what you guys were just sitting on. So I don't have all of my recording equipment. So, but yeah, that's the diff. So she's looking really good. So I'm just gonna let her sit here and drip away because it's only like, I think it's like 29 degrees right now. So this stuff is really, it's like molasses right now. So I'm just gonna let it sit here and do its thing for an hour or so before I come back out and start patching her up. So I'm just gonna let her do her thing. Alright, so we're finally back. It is now the day after I started recording. Actually, thanks to one of my Instagram followers asking me what size my differential was, made me realize that I actually ordered the wrong gasket from Lube Locker. It was actually the one for the FX4. Oops. Whatever. So I overnight expressed a new gasket from Molly. So we're going to give this one a try. It looks like a steel inlay with a cork outside. So we're going to go ahead and give that a shot. It's freaking dark outside, so I've got a new light underneath there. And then everything's ready to go. And then I figured while I was at it, what the hell, make it look nice and pretty. And plus I found a lot of rust on here. So I went ahead and painted the tips of the bolts all silver. Pulled the magnet out, cleaned it, and then I also added another magnet down there, and then I repainted the diff cover. And also, I know I have a good wife when she let me put my differential cover in the dishwasher to clean it out. So that's why I married her. So, but so the other thing is I added another magnet down here, just to catch any other crap that falls in. So hopefully you guys will be able to see it, but it's right there. That is a neodymium magnet, super strong, and hopefully it attracts a lot of crap. So plenty of room for the gears to move and everything else without impeding on it. And then I cleaned up the mating surface on the actual diff, so we're good there. So we're actually going to go ahead and slap this differential back together, or at least the cover back on it. Alright, so let me zoom you guys out here because I think you guys are cut off a little bit. That's as far as it'll go. Okay. Well, bear with me. Like I said, I don't have my old recording equipment, so just bear with me. So I've got 4 bolts here. I'm just going to kind of stick this up there and then let it hold itself, sort of thing. So alright, so all the bolts are in. That looks awesome.
that's just me. Nice black little diff cover and a really shitty axle. So that's the way I roll. Whatever. So haters gonna hate or whatever. I can't believe I just said that, but who cares? I like the way that looks. And I'm gonna go look at the torque spec on these guys really quick.
Alright, so transmission or not the transmission, Jesus Christ. It's been a long day. The differential cover bolts are all torqued down. I torqued them to 20 foot-pounds. I could not find a torque spec in Chilton. So I went to wherever the most reliable information is, the internet. So I kind of took a happy medium, and they feel fine. I didn't want to go too loose. I didn't want to go too tight, so I went 20 foot-pounds. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get this thing going here. And so I'll just make it apparent right now, when you buy one of these, they make sure, like, blatantly obvious, like, you have to be either purposely not running this thing with oil, or you just have to not be able to read the English language. Like, when you buy this thing has stickers everywhere saying add oil before you start. So I have oil. So she's plugged in, everything is good to go. And here we go. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the quietest compressor, but it gets the job done. Alright, you guys, so the differential's done now. Sorry. I really wish I could have got getting the fluid into the diff on camera, but it's so cramped underneath there. And I've already got a million things going on, but I kind of figured I'd show you how I did it. So this is just off of like a siphon fish tank kit, little piece of vinyl tubing. I think it's 3/8 or something, I don't know. But anyway, I got my Valvoline bottle here, and I cut the entire nozzle off, forced the hose down through the cap all the way down to the bottom, and then I drilled a hole right here in the inside, and I set my pressure regulator to my air compressor on my little chuck down there to 10 psi, and I just feathered it, and then the only place for that fluid pressure to go is out the hose. So that's how I pumped it out into the diff. So I got 3 bottles, about 2.5 bottles in there in like 5 minutes. It was really nice and quick, fairly mess free. There was a couple of times where the hose popped out of the back of the diff, but she's completely buttoned up, cleaned up, everything else. I'm just letting this thing drain back into the bottle while I clean up. And yeah, so I know this wasn't I know this wasn't like a lot of my old videos, but I actually like to get in bed by like 8:30 now, because if Lake or Moore or Marin or anybody else from tech school is watching, I'm a grumpy old man. So they'll understand, because I went to school with a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds, and I'm 24, so I'm an old man. Yeah, so, but hey, apparently they're catching on to it, because they're realizing the benefits of going to bed early. You wake up refreshed, not tired. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So, but yeah, I added the old trusty arch oil, and 3.2 ounces per quart, so I've got 9.6 ounces in there, and measured it all out, everything else, and so yeah, the whole back of it's buttoned up and looking good. I like the way that looks. It turned out really good. So this is more of a, let's just see how this gasket does, but it's not leaking yet, so that's that's a good sign. So yeah, we'll see how it does with like the temperature changes and whatnot, because it's cold as all hell outside right now. I think Elsa's standing outside my door singing Let It Go, because it's that cold outside, and then in a few months it's going to be hotter than Florida. So we'll see how the temperature changes do. But other than that, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm getting tired. I need to put all these tools away, go take a shower, and go to bed, and go to work. Repeat. So alright guys, I just wanted to give you guys something different besides, hey, this is the house, because I know that there's a specific audience on this channel. So yeah, hopefully next time I have something more interesting and a little bit more productive, but we'll see. So alright, take care.